What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to the third episode of Noblesse. This one's titled Knight's Footsteps / Fallout. Not Fallout as in the single word, but Fallout, two separate words. Which I think is kind of a distinction. Because if you're dealing with a fallout or something, then it's an event that's kind of gone wrong. Fallout implies maybe characters falling out, in which case, what possible characters could be having a fallout? I mean, M21 and, what was his name, Regis? I think they fell out the moment they met each other, just because they all have preconceptions of each other. And Regis isn't really making any attempts to overcome that. He's going along with it just because Rai's there, basically. Otherwise, I think M21 would be kind of dead by now. But anyway, this show's good. I didn't expect to like this show as much as I did, judging by the art style that was presented with, based in the initial image, and the general story that was set out. I didn't really think I would connect with this show so much. And maybe it's because I had the extra OVA to watch before I started the first episode that it kind of helped me get more into the series, because ultimately that made my day one experience of this show essentially a double-length episode, which is something that I will always support and promote whenever a show manages to do that. So maybe that's part of the reason why I felt like I got into the show a bit more, because I had so much to watch that first time and really expand some story and stuff like that. Perhaps that's part of the reason, but yeah, last time, excuse me if I'm tired and my eyes, it's late and I'm very, very tired. But last time, we met Regis and Sarah, two other nobles, and that's what the red glow in the eyes is all about, implying that they are of these nobles and are meant to be... Because the whole point of Noblesse Oblige is your responsibility as someone higher up than someone to still be responsible for them and help them where possible, right? As a very basic understanding. And back when they were around, which is roughly a similar time period as Rai, they're out of touch with the modern times and how humans have changed since then, when we were reliant on them, and then we just decided, you know what, no, let's get our act together, and then science developed, medicine developed, technology developed, and all of a sudden we are far more capable than they ever realized. Of course, they are still more powerful because they have the supernatural on their side and essentially fantasy elements on their side. But humans are no longer the weak people that desire protection at a moment's notice. We can fend for ourselves, as our main boy, what's his name? Shin Woo-han is his... that's his Korean manhwa name, but in the show he is called something else. Yusuke. Right? Yusuke? Yes, Yusuke. Yusuke Tashiro is his in-anime name. So, yeah, he proved to Regis and Sarah that humans have come a long way since the early days that they were around, and they are now living with Rai and Frankenstein at the place with M21. M21 and Regis had some really good back and forth banter before the ED kicked in. Then we got the ED. Then right after, in the after credits scene, we also got more of them just bickering. And it's just like, I would not be surprised if that is going to be a consistent thing with these two characters. Like, I expect it's going to die down over time as they know each other and maybe start to respect each other a little bit. Maybe. That seems like a far-off goal, though. But at the end of the day, they will be more accepting of each other's situation. But they'll still probably have these jabs, if I had to guess. I mean, it just seems likely that they would be like that. But I don't think we got any of the... Because we've got the Union members trying to track us down. We had that one specific group that is coming to Japan. Interestingly, they actually shifted this to be based in Japan, because I know it's obviously set in Korea because it's a Korean manhwa, but even in the translations, and maybe it's just the subtitling, and maybe the original voice acting did say Korea, but they are basing this now in Japan, which I found kind of interesting. I thought they'd at least stay faithful to Korea, but apparently not. Maybe maybe the audience in Japan would care more if it was in Japan, like the show was set in Japan. Like, it's one of those weird changes that they make, because all the names change from Korean to Japanese for these types of manhwa projects normally. That's why 25th Band became Yoru in the Tower of God adaptation. I assume that was made because Japanese would relate more or understand more. I don't know why they do this, but I would prefer it if they were faithful to the originals in that aspect, because I would not expect... Because American dubs would not change character names from the Japanese. Like, I wouldn't expect them to. Like, Raizel is still going to be Raizel if this gets a dub in the future. Right? Ainsama is still Ains in Overlord. Like, they didn't change his name, or from Momonga, or any of the other characters. Shaltir, but, Albedo. Some of those are not actually strictly Japanese names, so it kind of works a bit better, but even Japanese names, I expect, shouldn't change in a dub. So I don't know why from Korea to Japan they have to change, but from Japan to English. Whatever. It is whatever it is. This is just... We're getting Korean manhwas because of Crunchyroll adaptations, so I can't really complain. I know there are complaints about most of their manhwa adaptations so far, but we're actually getting an adaptation when most other... Well, Funimation wasn't taking it on. Netflix didn't seem to be budging on it, so Crunchyroll had to make the move, because no other studios were taking up manhwa projects, so whatever. But I've rambled on long enough. As always, it's a time-based format reactions. Bottom left of the screen here, you're going to see the time of the episode. I will count you down 3, 2, 1, play. Then on play, you start the episode, I start... you start the episode, I start the episode, we'll be in sync. We have the Crunchyroll Originals logo to start us off here, and then we'll be good to go. You can also use the screen flash on my face or on the mic arm to tell when scenes are transitioning to help you sync up a little bit better as well. But, with all that said, let us get into episode 3, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Crunchyroll Originals. Crunchyroll Webtoon Production. Here we go. I'm also going to adjust my lights slightly. Oh, wow, we're starting off with them immediately. Okay. Yes. Oh, you're right, yeah. Still fooling him. I mean, yeah. Look at the red eyes. I don't think so. And he's just waiting for it to multiply. And OP time. I can guarantee you it did not work, though. Because he is the most powerful of the nobles. This and Jujutsu Kaisen have been getting a lot of advertising. At least I've been getting a lot of advertising for these shows. Because when I watch YouTube on Switch, get a lot of adverts depending on what you're watching on Switch. And it's this and Jujutsu Kaisen I've been getting a lot of adverts for recently. I can understand this, because Crunchyroll always pushes their manhwa stuff for adverts. It's the same with Tower of God, it's the same with God of High School. They put a lot of marketing into these. They're also doing a fair bit with Jujutsu Kaisen, and I understand why. It's a really good show. Anyway, here we go. Ah, yes, the complete smashed up building. Right, here we go. These are our people. Mm-hmm. But they can't spread a panic, or they've been influenced. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Right. Well, we know M24's dead. That's a healthy thing to do, yeah. It's gonna be a problem. Totally oblivious. Hmm. Yeah. It was. Yeah, it's a massive thing for Sarah. Mm-hmm. Wow, really? That's the way you think immediately take it? Okay. Wow, okay. Okay. Good point. What's High got to do anything? Still very distrustful of M21. Right. It'd help if Rai actually explained things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, boy. Cue misunderstanding in, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe? At most. I mean, you're taking on the appearance of such, at least. Strength has declined, interesting. Okay. Wow. Oh boy. Is it gonna be any good? Huh? Oh shit. Interesting, these two clashing. Okay. Nice. RGB keyboard, of course. Operation Wings, he's using RGB, obviously. Mm-hmm. Don't worry, you've got the power of RGB, you should be fine. Oh boy. Okay. That's such a good point. It's a laptop. How did you not have any battery in it when you've been charged? Whatever. I'm going to assume you've just got a stupid battery that's died because you kept it plugged in all the time. Interesting messaging. Why are you answering? Oh no. Oh boy. Holy shit. You are the worst for actually responding to someone like that, but whatever. Oh boy. Yeah. Don't cry on the RGB. Yes. He's got the right mind, but you're dead, mate. You're dead, mate. You are the worst, though. Never. If you happen to see someone's. They found him. Is there any other school cameras? Well, they're all dead. Well, hammer and shark, okay. Oh boy. Nice, okay. They're still at it. He does not, yeah, he's a stray. Such a mess. Yeah, because this place is a mess. Amazing. He doesn't make a mess. Just deflect, deflect. He helped. I love this. Very light-hearted in some parts. Ah, okay. Okay, so he's now independent from any union tracked things. Well, technically he was working for his lodging, but whatever. Was. It's actually a pretty decent, good kick. Girl's attention immediately go to him. This is where he's going to be ambushed, right? Unlikely. Yep. Right on cue. Yep. Yep. Almost certainly Union. DA5. Special Forces, okay. To find out what the hell happened to you and the rest of them. Mm-hmm. Dead. Oh, okay. Provocation. Yeah, something tells me he's not going to be having much luck. Mm-hmm. Yep. You don't really have much chance here. Like, our hammer's just doing nothing. Just sitting by and watching, having a snack. Oof. Actually got a scratch off. It's on the underside of his shoe, though, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. Oof. Oh, they're here. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, here we go. Wow. Yeah, that's a line. Nope. Oh shit. Oh shit. M21 actually. Huh. Whoa, who's this? Mm hmm. Hmm. Crans, okay. Hmm. Right. Sure. But you also resisted, so. Whatever. But you're also making these two. These two now 100% believe it's still the case. Yep. Mm hmm. You burnt that bridge now, M21. And that's it. Okay, so it's close to 15 minutes rather than 10 minutes that the actual misinterpretation was, but sure. I was more or less right. We do have an after credit scene here. So I'm going to wait for that. Don't know what's it going to be about. I assume we'll be going back to Rye. I still like this ED for being unique. I can go for some pancakes. It's been a while since we had pancakes. But, like, not the Americanized breakfast pancakes, but actual proper pancakes that you have in Britain. Sugar and lemon. Mm. Alright. Okay. He hasn't figured out how power works. Yet, you haven't taught him electricity. I want to teach him electricity at some point. Okay. Right, this show is honestly really quite lighthearted when you deviate from the story and just have some character building moments. This show really is quite lighthearted. I almost feel like this deserves having a comedy tag of some description. Like, of some description, because it is genuinely quite lighthearted. Yeah, it seemed like our boy Malibu's made a friend in the form of the hacker. What's the name of the hacker? Did we get the name of the hacker yet? I can't remember if we did. I can't remember if we got the name of the hacker, but yeah, it looks like he's made a friend there. His dad works in the police, and he does tech for the server and stuff, police server. He's actually pretty good as well to hold out against one of the union's special agents, I suppose. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah. So as I kind of expected and called out, M21 and Regis now have a further misunderstanding, because I guess M21 just didn't want Regis and Sarah to be involved in any way. Perhaps he's not fully understanding of their power. Perhaps he doesn't want them to get involved at this point. Perhaps he just thought, if I just comply, it'll just go smoothly and I can use this to my advantage and not get them involved. Maybe that's his thinking as well. But Regis was about to handle himself, or at least attempt to, before M21 intervenes, so who knows how that would have gone actually if Regis had intervened, because they said their family was family had diminished in power or strength since when they were normally around. So I'm assuming the fact that it's been so much time, and the fact that humans have progressed further and further without the need of the nobles, that's leading to their diminishment in power. But Rai is probably going to be different in that sense. He's probably still got the exact same power that he did 800 odd years ago. I'm going to guess is part of the explanation for the power levels in this show. We haven't really touched on overall strength so far. We know M21 as a modified human, as an experiment, essentially, is far below that of DA5, the Union's Special Forces. But where do even weakened or nobles with less strength, such as Regis and Sarah, where do they fall into a power scale with DA5? That's going to be interesting to see. Of course, Rai is the strongest of anyone in this series, I believe. At least, I think it's meant to be implied that he is the strongest, but he just doesn't use it that often, or hasn't had a need to use it that often, to be fair. But yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I'm still very much interested in this show. I enjoy the lightheartedness that comes with it, and the little bit of downtime we get in between the story. Story pacing so far has been pretty solid. Honestly, because we're not rushing that much, and we've still got a fair amount of information out so far, for 3 episodes in at least, on the main plot. I do worry, just because any story, I wonder if maybe they're going almost too slow at this point, to the point where they might end up rushing something towards the end. I have no idea what end point they're going for here, as someone who's never read the original source material. I have no idea what arc or what part of the story they want to end on and say this is the end of the anime. If this is going to be getting sequels down the road to expand upon and complete the adaptation, because we got the first volume, this is volume 2, or at least a portion of volume 2. I mean, the original work ran for 12 years. Well, more like 11 years, I should say. December 07 to January 19. So, I imagine there is some. I imagine there's quite a bit to adapt that one season wouldn't do it, but who knows? I don't know much about manhwa structure and their length versus anime structure length. Like, I don't know that much, so we'll see. But very much enjoying the show still, and looking forward to next week's episode to see how M21 handles the I guess interrogation that's about to come from DA5. Is he going to be honest with a lot of information? Is he going to let them know about Rai and his involvement with that? I mean, what he can do is be honest about M24 and then the two others that are also dead. What was it? Was one of them Jake? It was Jake and something, right? Was that it? Jake and Mary. That was it, right? Jake and Mary? Or Marie, whatever. I think those were the ones involved. But yeah, he can be forthright that they're dead, at least. Although he didn't have to explain how that was allowed, how he's still alive, how he escaped, what he's doing currently in tracking down said people. Yeah, that's a bit more complicated to skirt around the bits you don't want to tell them. Assuming he doesn't want to tell them. Like, he might just turn on them. Who knows? I doubt he would, though, you know. Anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one as per usual. Leave a like if you enjoyed the episode, as well as a comment on what you thought. Likes and comments, engagement like that are one of the best ways to help grow the channel, along with watch time. So the longer you stick around and watch the video, the better my engagement rating is, and therefore the likelihood of YouTube spreading that video out and attracting new people to it. Because a lot of my traffic is from people specifically searching for reactions. That's the nature of reactions, is people specifically searching for the show. So anyone who's searching for Noblesse reactions would have found my first episode from this, decided whether or not they like me as a reactor for the series, if I'm picking up the right things, if I'm adding any valuable input, if they actually like me in any way, because being likable is a major part of a reaction channel, right? Like, you're coming to watch me and my interpretation, reaction, and thoughts about a show, right? Like, yes, you're coming for the show, but you also have to have the right reactor, which is why some reaction channels will suit different people. Some people like the overly hyping type of reaction channels. I personally don't like that. Some people prefer the quick, concise ones that edit it down to like 9 minutes, full episode, and do it that way. I personally don't like that either. I prefer to do full length like I have here, and not lock it behind a paywall either. Because I feel like that's a bit scummy, especially when you put up the actual anime in the video. You are now monetizing directly someone else's content, which I think is a major legal issue that I'm surprised hasn't been pushed recently. Like, of all the things of copyright claims and stuff, I don't know how that has been ignored, if you know what I mean. It would be shitty if it would, because there'd be a lot of reaction channels in some major legal hurt, essentially, but I still question how nothing about that has happened yet. But anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. That was a sentence. Don't forget to subscribe as well to see next week's episode, as well as the rest of the full 2020 live you can find on my channel. A lot of good shows this season still going, and like I said, this is the busiest season I've ever done. Winter was the last busiest because spring and summer had COVID delays. This one did not. At least it hasn't yet. So biggest season we've ever done, and I'm enjoying so many shows this season. So thank you everyone for watching. Until next time, see you guys later.